Yeah, I mean, Tundra has like basically the same lineup, minus the Razor 5, which you could argue is even better. But yeah, I like OG playing fast. I feel like this fits their style a lot better. I know that Amar has been theory crafting Huskar for a long time, to the degree that I'm sure Tundra also knows that this was potentially coming. So I'm really interested to see this, and I think they're a good team for playing this hero because they're kind of balls to the wall, you know, very aggressive team. Where does that saying come from? Balls to the wall. That's just vulgar, isn't it?
I don't.
The hell does that come from? I said it. I immediately thought, who came up with that?
I can't even. Yeah.
Maybe it's like a pool thing. Pool balls. Surely that's not, you know.
No, it's probably. I do a bit of research.
Okay.
Yeah. Whilst we wait, nothing's happening at the moment. Both teams setting up around the bounty rooms. As both teams very happy to fight here, level 1. Tundra the more so. They can get set up for a good link from Skeeter. As Amar, yeah, he's not gonna step down for this bounty room. He doesn't want to battle into these heroes at the moment. And honestly, with the positioning, it looks like they'll get the 3 runes here, Tundra.
It comes from fighter planes. The balls are the knobs atop the plane's throttle control. So it's not actually vulgar.
Ah, I see. So you're pushing it all the throttle all the way up.
All the way. It's like all gas, no brakes.
Yeah. I see.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, they're definitely an all gas, no brakes sort of team on the OG side. They came out swinging at the start of the season, or the tour, I should say.
Yeah. Well, and so on paper, you know, the Huskar pick. Tundra's lineup. What have they got that's an issue for the Huskar, and what do they not have? Like, what is this Huskar good against?
Yeah, I do feel like it's hard to toggle against Ion Shell in general. It just has so many damage instances. It doesn't do high enough damage where Huskar might not toggle to like 1 HP, so maybe... Also, it's a ranged hero, Huskar, to deal with Darkseer in lane, so you're going to have a pretty decent lane. Razor 2, massive physical damage with the static link, but you can disarm him, so it's like... It's one of those, like, goes both ways Huskar games. If he pops off, it's going to look really good. If he doesn't pop off, it's going to look like he's a feeder. So, pretty average Huskar game, I would say. Not free by any means.
And what do you expect out of this bottom lane? Amar with the backup of Tiger, this time playing the Enchantress against Skeeter's safe lane Razor.
This is a strong lane. Any Enchantress lane is supposed to win. The same could be said for Razor, but like once you have the level 3 timing on Ench, she is the strongest hero in the entire game. You can lose before getting there, though. It really sucks if you're a 4 and you die before level 3. But no, Ace fine. Yeah, it's like, you think of Ench as this like really strong early game hero, so you'd think that her level 1 is super good, but she's kind of just an impetus and then bad stats. He's not stuck, is he? How is he?
No, I think he must be just killing the illusions.
2 gold. He's farming.
Easy money.
Yeah.
Creating a bit of an issue here for Misha. Snake King messing around with Misha's potential to get the pulls going. And leaving the lane to sort of settle as a 1v1 at the moment. Trading very evenly there, top lane between the Darkseer and the Huskar. Over towards the mid. 9 having the edge at the moment as the puck against BZM's Invoker.
Yeah, I feel like one issue with Invoker...
Actually, he's got a fair few denies, actually. That's pretty much even.
Yeah,
BZM's actually taken away a bit more XP.
He's got the wave coming in.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Invoker doesn't get runes is something that kind of hurts him to a degree, but he's Quas Exort in this game, so he is sending Forge Spirits to go and contest runes. Doesn't end up denying that one because 9 was already there waiting for it. He actually stacked up the camp as well, but he did get a deny on a water rune, so he's not just giving the free runes to the puck in this case.
And so for 33, this game, I mean, last game we saw, of course, his build-up. Will we necessarily see that again, or was that something that was pretty much for that scenario, and 33 might consider something different this time around as his build?
I want to say yes. I want to say that the Orchid Darkseer is just this new tech that people are really excited about, and it just completely changes the timings on the hero, and arguably, yeah, it looks like he's going for it again.
Yes, so this
Sages masks.
Yeah, and I guess this time doesn't feel the need to get the Vanguard first, or will we still see that?
Yeah, well,
actually, no, he looks like he builds them up simultaneously, right? Because he's got the Sage's mask, and now he's queuing up the Ring of Health.
Maybe
so a bit of both.
Maybe a hood. Maybe a hood will come first, but it is possible that he thinks that, like, oh, snaking. Oh, dodges the Sunstrike. He's dead anyway. Maybe the idea behind the Vanguard into Orchid, if he does go for Vanguard instead of a hood, I think it's a better hood game this game. But the argument for why a lot of people go Vanguard is because you can tank towers. So if you get an Orchid in a Vanguard, it means that you can run around, you can kill heroes, you zone them off of towers, then you tank the towers and you take them. It's like taking tier 1s, and then you could disassemble it for other stuff later. So maybe that's why he goes for the Vanguard. Maybe that's the thought process behind it. But it is a good hood game, so I could also see him just going for that instead of the Vanguard.
I feel like we're seeing Snaking and Misha. They've been chasing each other around this jungle for the whole first 4 minutes of this game. The two of them still just level 1. This is all they've been doing, just keeping each other busy. I mean, which team's happier with this? You know, who's wasting more time here? Who's coming out on top of these two supports just sort of trading like this in the jungle?
See, and that depends on who you ask. If you ask Snake King,
he's like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
and then Misha's like, oh, this is great. I've got him. He's just chasing me.
Let's see. Who does it leave alone in the lane? So you're leaving like a Darkseer versus Huskar, and they're both just farming.
I mean, Misha's, they love this. They're just playing around in the jungle, level 1. I mean, which hero hurts more with being stuck at lower levels as the game goes on, do you feel? Out Shadow Demon and Clock. Who feels more useless?
Probably, I would say Clockwork can probably snowball a lot harder with levels, but he's also fine without levels. Yeah. But I feel like SD normally doesn't have levels and is normally okay with it. Whereas Clockwork, if you can get to an early level 7, you know, his battery assault does what, like 1,500 or 2,000 damage over its entire duration? I mean, it's crazy. But with that being said, I feel like you picked the Huskar to do well against Darkseer, and Darkseer's free farming.
Yeah, and to leave him solo.
So Tundra's probably happy with that. Because it is like a ranged hero who can tank waves that have ion shells on them very easily.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be pretty happy here. And he is, but so is 33.
And we're not getting anything crazy build-wise, right, from a safe lane. Huskar, it's still with the armlet into the halberd.
Maybe armlet, Aghanim Scepter. Maybe you go for the Ags earlier. Although he is up against a Razor, so I feel like it is a great halberd game. Obviously more effective versus ranged heroes, like literally last longer versus them, and it'll protect you from the static link. Status resistance as well, very good against Puck, so, and Bane. So pretty good halberd game, for sure. Yeah, bot lane is... Skeeter's not free farming down here.
Might be having the setup for a kill. They're going to try for Tiger, but Amar stepping over, ready to try and push Skeeter away. Does actually miss the God's Rebuke, though. Doesn't matter. Tiger still survives. For now, at least Fada trying to find the last hit upon him, but Misha holds back Fada with the disruption. Snakey's coming with the action to try and block off Misha's escape, keep him in range of Skeeter, and that will set up for Skeeter to pick up a kill down here.
Yeah, very shocking that Misha and Snake King end up in a different lane, but then they both just end up fighting each other again. There's some pent-up frustration and anger there from the early game. It's like, I'm finally going to get him. This is my chance.
An overall 1K lead at the moment. You just see on the net worth, out of the cause, it really is just Amar that's just a little bit further behind everyone else. Was that sort of expected with the lane setup?
I feel like bot lane is pretty good for OG. I think Tundra's just playing it really well. Like, they're super pressuring Taiga. Usually when you pick Ench 4, like, you want to be the one that's pressuring with creep, so we haven't really seen him do that, and they're constantly, like, isolating him and then you know, static linking him, getting him low HP, so he's not able to really pressure on Ench, which is why Amar's not farming, because his Ench isn't able to, like, you know, stand her ground and do damage.
And so for this game as well, for OG around Yuragi's Huskar, is it going to be a case of, he gets this sort of armlet and then they're looking to join and get aggressive, or when you're sort of playing around a Huskar core, is it just more about how you react to Tundra coming at you? How much are you trying to force it as OG early on?
I think everything's about Roshan. You want to secure the towers around Roche. You want to, smoke to the Roche area. It's like legit just about finding that opportunity to take Roche. And then once you have Roche, you go for a tier 2. And then with the tier 2, you take a map advantage and you farm more. Back in the day on Huskar, you could literally just go high ground because tier 3s and tier 2s were a lot weaker. But these days, it's less practical. And also, late game Huskar is actually quite good.
Now we'll see here. Of course, we had action on both sides of the map just now. Snaking being taken out top and bottom lane. The bigger kill, of course, for OG out of the two of them as they set up at the arena. Mid lane as well, 9 getting bullied back. Well, this BZM is off to a very, very farm start this game. Top of the net worth as the Invoker. Of course, that Midas already out and kicking. And going for the bots next. It's going to be a solid opening timing for his first 2 items, BZM.
Yeah, he's really big. He has good setups for the Sunstrike this game, too. 9 is TPing in, but I don't know if you can kill an Ench.
Yeah, he's not got enough damage on his own for either of these heroes, so he's going to have to head back. Tiger, of course, playing around the center. Actually having 9 dropping the coil. See what he can do there. Over towards the mid. Snaking's been found as Misha and BZM run him down, and indeed back down bottom. 9 ends up going down. Yeah, Yuragi turns up. That was a coil put to waste. And OG, a huge difference to the pace that they were playing in game 1. This game 2, 10 minutes in, you're already starting to feel OG bring the fire that you hope to see them bring against a team, especially like Tundra.
Yeah, this is a lot more what you would expect. Once again, Amar playing in his lane. Yuragi, the one that's actually making those rotations. BZM, sometimes he rotates. I feel like he can do, he can be the carry. He can be the
he can farm
the active hero. Like he's good at both of those things. Whereas I feel like from what we've seen, the patterns in OG have been like Yuragi, active hero, Amar, also an active hero, but sitting in the off lane, building some satanic weird build that people don't really know how to deal with. That's their formula. It's been working.
Yeah,
and they're fine. They're doing it again here.
I guess just sort of what for you just felt a little bit off with what they were trying to do in the first game.
It did, yeah, it did. From what we've seen from them, I'm more than happy to you see a team and they do something that's totally different from their normal style, and it's like, okay, cool, they're versatile. Like that means they're going to be a seriously competitive team. But it's easier said than done. Like these things take months and months to learn as a team and do a totally different style.
We'll see Farder. He's going to go for the setup on Tiger. Snaking and 33 charging over. Quite able to get in time to take down Tiger. They'll take away his Hellbat. That's that timing done for 33. So Orchid's done. Maybe we'll see 33 starting to get a bit active now with this quick Orchid timing that he likes to go for.
Yeah, they have to kill BZM and Yuragi. I think like 2 smokes are in order. BZM's probably the #1 priority. I feel like Huskar can be dealt with during like BKBs, but BZM is just going to be not really showing up to fights. And if he does, he'll be playing the back lines. He's not going to get in there like a Huskar. But it really does feel like BZM is taking off in this game, and he needs to be dealt with.
Well, Misha not going to be able to TP out of this one. Snaking was on the hunt there, ready to back up Skeeter. Now set up for a kill. Losing their mid-tier 1 tower at the moment, at least heavy pressure coming in from OG. Tiger and the backup of BZM's Forge Spirits. See if Tundra can do anything to slow this down. BZM also ready to sort of reach in and set up with the damage. And that tower's going to be pushed down here. Tiger takes the last hit upon it. Tundra not able to hold their mid-tier 1 for now.
So they do go for a smoke on Tundra. They are looking for either BZM or Yuragi. But the Forge Spirits, like, this is good scouting.
See that? They have caught BZM, though, with a hook shot. Wall drop down as well as that Orchid. It's going to be able to buff up that extra bit of damage, even if needed, and it wasn't. They just had the damage straight up during the silence to take down BZM. A big catch there from Tundra.
Yeah,
exactly what they were going for.
Next level positioning from Snake King, you could see that the Forge Spirit scouting, they were like looking for the more obvious angles coming from the enemy side, but like Snake King, like who expects a hook shot from your own side like that? You're never going to expect that angle. So that's just really nice positioning from him, and also patience. He places the ward, he sees BZM, but he doesn't just jump early. Like, he waits until he's isolated, and he waits until he can actually get the angle. Guaranteed. Yeah, D ward's the ward. Worth giving that away, though, for the kill on the Invoker. Definitely worth giving that away. Like, he's been tempered, at least, in this game. Now, Uragi is the top net worth and needs to be dealt with.
He's definitely going to be a little trickier to deal with. That armlet, Sanj done, queuing up the BKB, building up to be, hitting that sort of unkillable phase as soon as possible as a Huskar.
And I think a lot of people have this idea about Huskar, that he is a... Oh, Taiga. 2 points in heal. He's pretty tanky. I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
We'll see. I mean, having to run him down quite a bit. With the silence, the pullback, it's not quite enough burst. They'll have to use the hook shot, but even with that, it's definitely taken their time to bring him down. They will finally get him. Of course, not an easy kill to find.
No, I think if you're OG, you're stoked with that. That's a 2-level in heal Enchantress. He went for 3 points in creeps, so that way he could push towers. Really good read from Taiga doing that. If you die a couple of times on Enchantress, you kind of fall off in the early game, and sometimes you become unable to take those tier 1 towers. But he was able to read that, like, he didn't need to max heal, and so he could have more damage on the towers with the creeps. Takes 2 towers. We literally saw him solo the mid tower earlier with a couple of Forge Spirits to back him up. And now he's maxing the heal. But at this point on Enchantress, like, your job is over. You're just kind of a walking ward and a heal for your team. Yeah, he's pressuring. He's being pretty annoying with the pressure on Ench. Like, he's making so much space for his team.
You can definitely see that in the amount of gold that Uragi and BZM are picking up. The two of them able to very freely farm right now at a pace that Tundra's cores aren't quite able to keep up with. It's over to the mid. Misha. He's going to be able to find the setup. Get some more gold into the hands of these two. And Tiger, yeah, as you say, he's sort of just over here. He knows that Tundra, if they do want to kill him, they have to commit a lot. And at this stage, Tundra knowing they've got to really save their resources for bigger kills. It's not quite able to make the moves that they may have hoped to do so at this moment in time, Tundra.
God, this is a team that definitely knows how to play with an Enchantress. Like, Amar being there just behind him, to like kind of baiting him, that is definitely something that you want to do. You want the enemy team to be constantly questioning if they go on this Holy Locket Enchantress, who is going to be healing and wasting time, or are you getting baited? Like, you want to make them question that, so that way the Ench can just farm right in front of your base.
A quick catch on Misha. And again, OG, they won't feel too concerned if it's just the support they're losing to these moves from Tundra. Still just able to get that much more out of the map right now in comparison to Tundra. And also putting some deep pressure on. Tier 2 down bottom, BZM starting to push.
Yeah, he went for a Force Staff on BZM, which I can understand. Obviously, Clockwork, you're going to force out of the cogs. You can force out of the coil. And I think on Invoker, and with the heals that he has from Enchantress and the save from SD, if he forces himself out of coil and the static link, I don't think he dies to anything else. If
I think it's hard to kill.
If you break both the link and the coil, like, how do you kill?
You see Uragi jump in for the kill. Try and poke back with the wall. I mean, it really does feel it. It's at this point where, I mean, how on earth do they get the damage done to this Huskar? how do you kill Yuragi at this stage of the game? 18 minutes in, BKB armlet Sanj. This is the point that you play for. You know, this is why you pick this hero.
Yeah, you have to grip him. That's the only way right now, but you're dealing with a Shadow Demon who can just imprison the grip target. That's going to cancel it. You have Amar who can blink on the back lines, drop an arena, spear, cancel the grip.
Yeah.
Invoker can tornado, cancel the grip. Taiga can't do shit to the grip, but that's fine. He's probably going to be frontlining in there with Yuragi. But yeah, the way that Tundra needs to execute a fight is like borderline flawless in order to kill Yuragi right now. Or OG really needs to make a mistake.
I will eat the cheese.
In other words, like this is a timing you probably want to just avoid. And take pickoffs for a little while until you have your BKBs and your timings. But that means Roche might be free. You might just be giving it up.
I think there might be. Yuragi buffed up by the alacrity. And Tiger tanking the Roche is going to leave this as a pretty safe opportunity for OG to take. Will be scouted out. Maybe, I mean, Snakey's not going to be close enough to try for a steal, is he? He's stepping over. But yeah, not quite in time able to make a hook shot play. So OG, they'll get themselves the Roche. Aegis on Yuragi. The unkillable becoming even more so now with that pickup.
It looks odd, but I think not fighting that Roche is what you're supposed to do in this situation. I think this would be the optimal game. Like, you don't want to be at this point on Tundra. Like, you'd rather be just winning the early game because, you know, obviously that's just better in Dota. But if you're at this point and they walk into Roche like that and you're playing up against this timing, I think you don't want to fight. You let them have Roche. You try to get the next Aegis.
Oh, they've found Skeeter in the trees. He'll go straight for the BKB TP out, not wanting to mess around. Over in the river. They've got the grip on Yuragi, so they do manage to take out the Aegis. I mean, if they just lose Fada here, I mean, with the way that things have been going so far this game, I think they'll happily throw away a support life there to take the Aegis out of the hands of Yuragi. There's something there for Tundra.
Yeah, that's great. Now you can fight. I mean, yeah, this is like the Aegis is... The first Aegis is a really important timing on Huskar because, like we talked about, you just really can't fight. Oh, that's an Orchid.
It is.
It's nothing to take it off.
Freshly picked up there by BZM. Maybe 9 can still get away. Oh, slides down to the low ground. Gets the kill, BZM. Yeah, he just wouldn't expect that at all. That Orchid had only just been delivered out for BZM.
Yeah, and he was not holding anything that would like indicate that he was going for an Orchid. But you do see this on a lot of heroes that are opting to not pick up Orchids these days, like Queen of Pain, for example. A lot of the time when you're up against a Puck, they will build an Orchid just because Puck goes for this Witchblade build and doesn't have anything to take off the Orchid. It's just Sanjin Kaya Witchblade. So, yeah, great pickup on BZM. Less typical on an Invoker, but very good this game.
I mean, we saw, of course, last game, 33 coming in with some big plays whilst he was ahead. This time, now from behind, he's gearing up the items the same way to have that jump in, the punch, and the Orchid. Who's he going to be looking to really jump and do the combo on? Is it still the carry, or is there, you know, is his sort of initiation just not going to do that much that really phases Yuragi whatsoever, so he's got to look for other kills?
You probably look to Orchid the Shadow Demon and then punch the carry. And then like use the carry illusion to kill the Shadow Demon and then eventually kill the carry. Like that's the way that you want to play it. The nice thing about Orchid is that it's so cheap, and even just using it to silence somebody and not try to focus them is worth the gold cost of Orchid. Yeah, Mara, he's got BKB, so not really that afraid of getting hook-shotted there. It would just mean that he has to expend BKB to TP out. Which you don't want to do, but it's, you know, it's not the worst thing that could happen. I think if you're Tundra, you're happy with how the game has stalled out here. Huskar in the late game is a strong hero. It's definitely stronger than it was before because it pure damage spears in the talents. But avoiding that first Aegis timing is like, that's, you know, you just narrowly missed getting hit by a train. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good example because trains are kind of on a track, so it'd be pretty easy to dodge. You just move. But yeah, it's they avoided disaster by taking that Aegis.
Oh, Amar. He's caught the two of them straight into the trees. He knows they're hiding there, and that arena will set up for both kills. Easy catch there for Amar.
Yeah, not much they can do. 9 still just kind of pushing out the lanes with his Boots of Travel. Does have the Yules now, so he can take off the Orchid just fine.
Fada. Oh, yeah, he's not getting out. BZM catching him with the cold snap. As OG really sort of turning the tables after what we saw Tundra pull off against them in game 1. This game 2, OG feeling incredibly comfortable with the position that they're in. Yuragi and BZM proving to be quite the nuisance right now. I mean, yeah, Yuragi very close to having his Ags. Bottom lane. So if they've got the follow-up, they do. The spear's in. They lock down 9, kill him off. Another move here made by OG, and Tundra still looking for that recovery plan.
This is a tough kill, man. This is a tough kill.
Up at the BKB. And he'll turn. The link is there, though. With the BKB for Skidder, he'll try and stay on target, but he's been slowed down by the Demonic Purge and Misha. So Yuragi's able to step away. 9 has been able to box over to the range creep, though. They're bringing Yuragi very, very low. Armlet Toggle to try and stay alive, but the Dream Core Snap causes the death of him. As he will go down, Misha looks for the TP out off the back of the Invis and will escape. But those are the two big kills that Tundra could hope for there. They get BZM and they get Yuragi.
Just really, really well played by them. The way that they executed that. Yeah, that was not easy. Like
no,
he got saved multiple times and still ended up going down because they baited out the BKB early.
Yeah.
And that means that 9 travels into the creep wave that was in the exact direction that he was being pushed towards and follow up with a kill. Yeah, that was just really a really nice, nicely executed gank by Tundra. Like they all had to be on the same page there, or Yuragi doesn't die.
Oh, they pulled it off perfectly.
And then they get the kill of BZM, which I was absolutely not expecting. But of course, with no BKB, he's gone for this pickoff build. He's all about the running around the map and jumping and trying to find the puck. He can't really protect himself in these team fights. He's about killing people, not saving himself from being killed.
Oh, see it again here. I mean, the start of the fight, you know, as you said, as we fight, you know, you see this going on Yuragi, like, this man's not going to die, he's got a BKB. But of course, Skidder, so does he. Able to steal a fair bit of damage. The Purge, as I said, slowing down Skidder so he could close in. But that TP over from 9, of course, using the fortification as well to make sure they couldn't kill the creeps and stop him from coming in. It just wraps around them completely and shuts out any form of escape that OG were trying for.
Did somebody force BZM out of the coil? I think he just snapped he may have just snapped the coil.
Or was it himself?
I think he may have snapped it himself.
Maybe he was hoping for some sort of disruption or something to
like
come
a
out.
Disruption save, something like that. Yeah. Which is, once again, just a testament to Tundra taking a really good fight. They create that like chaos scenario with the Darkseer kind of going in there and fishing, knowing that he can probably get out anyway. And then all of a sudden you have these supports that are not close enough to save. They run towards the creep wave. And like they created the opportunity for themselves to get those kills. The opportunity wasn't really there in the first place. They were just kind of fishing, and then it was presented to them by how things turned out.
Snaking. He's got, oh, the 3-man Continent, the 3-man vacuum down to the low ground. The BKB's come out from OG, but already they're in with the link building up on Yuragi. Yuragi just getting permanently locked down. Fada, who's able to reach him with the Fiend's Grip. Wasn't enough to kill him, though. Yuragi does finally die. I mean, a whole duration of that fight there where he was locked down. 33 will jump back in with a normal punch onto BZM. A fair bit of damage was built up. They still bring down the Razor, but it's 3 dead on OG. They're having to run as Tundra, they'll look to chase down the rest of them. Amar turns with the God's Rebuke, but the silence is out. 4 dead on OG. Nightmare set up from Fada. As Tundra, they're going to see if they can get the cleanup. Of course, Tiger, a little tankier. The vacuum into the very slow punch from 33, but it does still come out. Tundra, they team wipe OG there. They catch him, fantastic. We saw the 3 of them grouped up as they were, the cogs down to the low ground, and I believe just for the whole of that, Fado did get a huge Fiend's Grip, limiting what Yuragi could really do in this team fight.
Yeah, and the whole fight, too, Skeeter had like a full duration grip onto Yuragi. I mean, the meter was pretty nice, but it's like these three heroes are just completely locked into the low ground. And Skeeter going in with the Link there and not immediately pressing his BKB means that he's forcing out OG's BKBs, and then he has a little bit of his left to survive there, which results in Amar going down because Amar turns around to get the kill on him. And this is what results in the full team wipe, is Skeeter being a little bit conservative with his BKB usage instead of just popping it.
We'll see this a normal punch there.
That is like the shortest duration normal punch because he was standing just completely still trying to hit the Enchantress. He has absolutely destroyed that water bottle.
He has destroyed it.
He was mad about the Enchantress in the early game.
This was actually the replay during that fight there. Tundra doing it with one hand.
I see.
Enjoying a drink. Keeping themselves hydrated.
Makes a lot of sense.
Maybe this is the secret.
Okay, that was a huge chug.
Yeah.
I mean, I see why 9 is such a beast of a player. He's very hydrated.
Wow. Huge levels of hydration here from Tundra, and it's helping them win some big fights. I mean, those last two fights with the setup that OG had built up at the beginning of this game, those were not easy fights to take, but we've seen Tundra back-to-back now shake up OG. This has got to be a bit scary for OG's outlook on this game, right? They had the lead. They were having a roaring start, but at this point, you know, they can't afford to take another fight like that against Tundra. Tundra catch them off once more. Tundra's going to have the lead, and OG's going to really lose sight of that window that their lineup was gearing up towards.
I can't help but feel after watching these two games and just what's been going on in the European pubs for like the last 2 weeks and this Darkseer Orchid trend, he just seems like he doesn't lose late game. Like, we're seeing how effective the Vac wall is in this game, and these are not even great heroes to get illusions of. It's just that he's doing so much damage with the illusions. 120% replica damage, and then normal punch, you're getting another one as well. And it's on a low cooldown, it's a stun. You're able to actually pick people off with the Darkseer Blink. Gives you something to, you know, use with the Orchid as well, which is such a good build-up. I'm just super sold on the Darkseer. It feels really good watching this game, both of these games.
Tiger. Looks like he might tank this, unless he can buy time for OG to come over if OG want to take the fight, but 33's going to get the jump on them first, straight up with the vacuum. They're on top of him, the grip, the link,
wow.
They completely shut down Yuragi. As OG, they'll lose 4. Another fantastic jump there from Tundra, and 33 in particular. Into the trees, just that little bit of setup, the punch into the vacuum, buying time for them to chain lock down Yuragi. And they're just destroying the Huskar completely. Yuragi can't get jumped like that because evidently if he does, the fight's just over. He will die at the start.
Tundra is just dismantling OG in team fights. Like the way that they played that, 99% of people, if they're Clockwork in this game, they hook the Enchantress to start. Snake King didn't do that because he knows the Ench has a Force Staff and he's looking for bigger targets. And not only does he not...
Look at this.
Like, look at this. Okay, so he just walks in. So he forces out the Force Staff for the cooldown of Cogs, and he doesn't hook here again. And you think, why the hell doesn't he? Because he goes and he combos with his Darkseer on the backlines. He gets the save hero with the hook shot. Like, the discipline you have to not hook in those two scenarios, that in both of which 99% of people would hook shot, that's insane. Like, you need to play so much Clockwork to know that that's not, like, he's identified that he needs to go on the SD. And then with 33 comboing that as well and getting Yuragi at the exact same time, that fight could not have gone better for them. Snake King always makes Clockwork look like this. I always feel like it's this slightly underwhelming hero, especially from the 4 position, but he just shows there's so much you can do with it. And now he feeds after I praise him. I see.
Yeah, well done, casters. Yeah, caster curse.
It happens. It happens. He's a Clockwork. He doesn't really care. You know, effectively a 5 position. He has just about as much net worth as his 5. That's how she goes.
33. He's going to be fine. Violet, on the other hand, not so much. They've not got any creeps to push him with, though, down bottom. The wave's already passed them, OG. So once the 2 supports are down, they're probably going to be fine. We'll see in the mid. A bit of an attempt for Tiger. Nine, does he want to commit with the coil?
I don't
thinking
know if
about
you want to
it.
chase into this.
Yeah, yeah, just with the three of them alive, not really going to be too tempting to run into OG, even if they have that Aegis.
Yeah.
They'd rather stay for a full 5-man play.
That worked. That link worked in the last fight because Snaking forced out the Force Staff.
Yeah,
Force Staff for just a low cost in his cogs. So otherwise, like linking the Enchantress, it's not really gonna do you any good if he can just force out. They've got a bunch of Force Staffs on OG. Tundra's doing a really great job though this entire game at keeping all of the lanes pushed out. With Darks here, that's a lot. You know, it's fairly easy because you just Ion Shell a creep and it pushes out like 3 creep waves. It's pretty nice. But 9 in particular, like the wave cutting that he's doing, is such a pain in the ass for OG. It means all of these kills result in nothing but pushing the lanes out again. Like BZM's just trying to fix the lane top so that way they can actually play Dota. 33 picks up a gem. I think that's fair because he's not going to die. He's got the BKB. He's very strong at this point in terms of his tankiness. Tundra sweeping across.
Yuragi, he's going to get set up again straight away. They're in with the chain stun. Yuragi, he's going to go down. Again, Tundra starting the fight off with the jump on the Yuragi. And OG's carry just gets completely obliterated out of the fight. And Ma also taken out underneath the tower. I mean, it just seems that back-to-back, Tundra just catching the Huskar every single time. Top lane, Nine's on the hunt. He's been able to shut down BZM's escape. BZM will pop the BKB, try and stand his ground. He has to run though with the TP already used. He's out with the blink. He is pretty speedy. C9 try and continue to chase this. Running him down. They've got great gap close. The Yules is there. They're in with the hookshot back available. They'll kill BZM off as well. I mean, the whole sort of opening of this game 15 minutes ago, it's just a complete distant memory now. As Tundra, they are just destroying OG on all accounts. As OG, they just weren't able to really pull anything together after that start they had where BZM and Yuragi got incredibly farmed. I mean, this Huskar is getting completely handled by Tundra.
Yeah, it kind of started with that play by the Roche Pit where they're able to take his Aegis, and then in every fight after that, Tundra has just been executing flawlessly. Some of the fights have been easier than others, like that one in the mid lane where Snaking does the beautiful, like not using hookshot and only going in the backliner play. Like that is much harder than what we just saw, which is 33. He orchided SD there while they focus Yuragi. I mean, it's still something that's more than just, hey, we need to focus this one guy in team fights, because the fights are not that simple in this game. Like there's multiple heroes that you have to go on. There's multiple layers to it, which is always so impressive to watch teams figure out how to come back by what are these layers, who do we need to focus, who uses what spell on who. But every fight, Tundra's just doing that.
I mean, seeing sort of OG just losing control of this game from the early stage, I mean, how on earth do they regain any sort of control? They're now down 12k.
It's the same thing. It's like the flip side of that, where now OG is in this position where they have these like multi-layered, complicated team fights that they need to orchestrate, where it's split in some way. Amar spears like 2 heroes at the same time. Huskar gets to solo a hero before the BKB comes out. Like some scenario like that has to happen in order for OG to win the fight. And it's usually really hard to do, even at a high level, especially because you're playing against players who know these things as well, right? But and yet Tundra is just, in this game, playing so well.
Oh, top lane 33 is on the hunt. They've got their second hook shot, and they make very easy work of BZM there. And mid lane, 9 is going to start things off onto Yuragi. The Link's, I mean, Yuragi, is he just dead? I mean, Misha's going to try and protect him with a disruption, but the Link's building up. The BKB will come out for Yuragi, but Farda's got the grip ready. Locks him down. 33 and Skidder, they've got the damage. Yuragi's out of the game for 80 seconds. Tundra chasing OG up to the high ground. No Huskar to play with here, as Yuragi was just unable this game to really ever have an impact from the mid-game onwards. The carry Huskar not working out at all for OG this time round. GG is called as Tundra, they'll take game 2 this series, all theirs, 2-0 against OG. After we had a very impressive stomping game 1, and then just the control and the mid-game calls from them this game, it continues just be on the top tier that we have come to get used to seeing from Tundra. This was top Dota all around from them.
Yeah, Tundra is, if they played in this form